This is a photograph that I took of the little town of Murano. It's an island off of Venice, Italy. I loved the variations of the colors of the homes, and there's different tales about why they're different colors. One that I heard was when the sailors would come home, or the fishing men would come home from a long day of fishing, they would go to the bar and get drunk, and so this was a way for them to identify which house was theirs when they staggered home. That's just one of the folklore that I heard. So I'm going to paint this on a mini canvas. This is a 3-inch square, and first off I have to decide what houses I want from this pattern and then make a tracing out of it. I'm going to choose, I really love this pink house, and I like the repetition of the yellow here and the yellow here. So I'm going to choose about that much. It's perfect width. And I'm going to put my tracing paper on top of it and make a tracing out of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to give you the idea of what you're painting. I don't like these boats, so I am not going to put boats in my world. I'm going to leave the boats out, but I do like these poles, so I will add some of those back in. So I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm going to just do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I traced on just the outline of the buildings where they separated, and the back walkway and this front walkway, so I have the canal in there. And I'm going to start with my background and work forward. So I know that my sky is going to be a blue sky, but as you see it's lighter near the buildings and it gets darker as it goes to the top. So I'm going to have some baby blue and some snow white on my palette. I only need a small dot. And that's probably more than I need. And I'm going to go with my 12 flat, even though I usually go with a larger brush. And I'm going to pick up the white first, and I'm going to bring it across my palette. I'm going to bring it across my surface. And you can do the edges as well, because I won't be framing this, so I'm going to put some white on the edges. Now with the corner of my brush, I'm going to pick up some blue, and I'm going to start from the top and work my way down as it fades away as it gets closer to the buildings. So it's mixing in. I didn't wait for the white to dry. It just goes right down to where I ran out of blue paint. I'm going to dry that. If you need to dry your roof lines back in, you can go right ahead, but I'm going to go and put some dried clay on my roof, and this building right here is going to be dried clay as well. This brush might be too big for that, so I'm going to go down to my size 10. And that's this building right here. Not worried about the doors or the windows at this time. For the roofs, whatever you want to call them, I'm going to go to my 4 round. This is a roof here. This one's going to blend right into the building. Because this is so small, we can do less detail. Do a second coat if needed. So the far building we said is going to be that yellow. So I chose Sunny Day. It might be a little bit on the bright side, but we will fix that. There's a little bit of a chimney over here. So I'm going to put a little roof on that. The next building is white, so obviously we're going to just make that white. If you want to put a touch of the blue in it, but I'm ever so little. The next one is our clay. The one after that is actually a green. It's a very dull green. I'm going to go with Thicket. And the next color we're going to go is Vivid Violet. Little part of this building is we've got the chimney. How about the roof on this one? This one here is also the dried clay. Around this doorway, I'm going to put a little bit of the Thicket. And this last building is going to be that yellow. Sunny Day. Don't forget this little piece up here. And this piece over here. And we can go to the bigger brush. And now take some liberty and just go right across. Okay, so by now this one should be dry. We can do a second coat. So if you want to bring these houses around the bend here, I would do this one in the clay. And don't forget the angle to which you are going. Clay roof. I'm going to make the other building blue. And on this side, I'm going to go with white with a touch of the thicket. Okay, so it goes all the way around the edge. Now that some more of this is dry, I'm going to go with thicket here. Now I'm going to dry that. Okay, this is the base coat done. We have the sidewalk on both sides is done with Dove Gray. And the depth between the sidewalk and the canal is Dove Gray plus black. Make it a little bit darker, Dove Gray on the line, and then or the mix, and then really darker, almost black on the bottom part. Maybe mix with a little burnt umber. So now we have our buildings area set in. I'm going to go and take my tracing and add all the windows and doors, and where the corners of the wall are, add all that in, the chimneys and everything. So do that and come back. In the photo, the sun's coming from the left side, but we're going to have the sun coming straight on for our painting. And the few sides that are showing that here are lighter, we're going to make darker. So, and I'm going to do that with a wash of color. So what you do is you take, for instance, on this Vivid Violet house, I'm going to take a little bit of the Vivid Violet and I'm going to mix it with just a brush mix. I want to get my flat brush. I'll go down to an 8 and pick up just a really small amount of that black and mix it in with some Vivid Violet. Make it a darker color. And then I'm going to wash over this side of the house. I'm also going to wash over that side of the chimney. I'm going to put more Vivid Violet on this side. There's also a piece of house back here that needs some of that color on it. If it's too dark, just put some water on it and tap it off. The next house we see the side of is going to be this dried clay. So take some dried clay, and you can either use black or you can use burnt umber. And I'm going to bring some under the dormer over here. The next house is the yellow. On this one we'll take some Sunny Day. And I'm going to mix some dried clay with that one. Now, the shadow will also be coming from under the roof, so we can add small side loads of that color underneath. If we need to add a little bit of the black into that. For the White House, you can go directly with the black. Tap it down. On this house, we're going to pick up some burnt umber. And if that doesn't show up, we'll add a touch of black. I think that shows up. Don't forget this piece up here. And I'm going to go with this building. Let's put some burnt umber on that yellow house, and we'll put it over here too. And a little bit up here. All the roofs are going to be kind of shaded with a little bit of black. This one I'm going to chisel the top. I'm going to chisel here. Now you can chisel or you can use your liner brush. Chisel there. I'm chiseling along the outline of the roof. I'm going to go add some more dimension. I'm going to take my brown brush and some burnt umber. And I'm just going to kind of add some dots. Too much water. That's not showing up. Add some black to that. And don't forget the ones on the side. And they get less and less distinguishable as you get further away. I want to put some black windows in. I'm just flattening my foreground. And these are going to be blue, but let's put in a black doorway here. I'm not going all the way to my outline on this side. I'm leaving it so there's some thickness. I'm going to go and put some underneath this awning. Put some in the middle. Cut these windows in thirds. Not the doorway. I'm just doing the dome on top of that one. Not this one. This has a little opening on the door here. Put that in. This whole door is dark. Okay, let's go on this side, and we're just going to put in a black window and a black doorway. And on this side, we can put in some little windows. I'm sure one's a door. And same with the blue one. Take a little bit of a wash over the now some highlights on the tops of these clay roofs. We can add some white to the clay, the dry clay. And with that we can go in and tap in, not on that side but on the side. Tap in a few, and you can put a line on that dormer. I want to put blue shutters around this yellow one, so I'm going to use a baby blue. And these shutters are inside the window. The doorway on the vivid violet and the green one, the thicket one next to it, let's put the white. This door is also going to be white, as well as the awnings. Might take 2 coats. I'm going to take my liner brush. It's my 10-aught. With this white, I have a little water it down a little bit, and I'm going to do a line across the top of these windows. And this one I'm going to line all the way around. And I'll line around the door. On that right side of where the black is, let's mix a little bit of black with the white and make a darker gray value and line down the inside of that. That'll give the door some thickness. Okay, around the windows up here, let's stick a little bit of white underneath the awning and across the bottom. On these awnings, they are yellow, but I'm going to put a some burnt umber lines through it. If you want to put a line across the bottom. Now I'm going to move on to this little door that is also got a white outline around it. These ones have a white line on top and bottom, and one down the right side of the black. I'm going to go over to the green. I have a little bit of a black line between the white curtain and the green here. And then put blue stripes down these curtains. I have a little black showing above this one. I'm going to do brown above that. The shutters on the Vivid Violet house are going to be thicket. Got a window. This window up here is black. A little bit of clay. Let's highlight that window, that wall here. And make this little black on the inside. And I'm going to go a little bit of thicket on those. I'm going to put a little bit of the black up in this chimney underneath the so it leaves some area for the smoke to come out. I'm going to go with the gray on this far one. I don't want the white to be sticking out too much. I take my chisel of my 10 flat, load it with the white, wipe some of it off, and chisel down the sidewalk. Don't forget the edges. And this one here. If you want to add some highlights to the shutters, take the white and whatever color you used and add some highlights. And these ones here we're going to deepen with some black plus baby blue. Just down the center. Maybe underneath the top piece here. Add some of that darker color to the top of the curtains. And add a little bit of black to a thicket. And do the tops of these. Now I want to put the water reflection in. So I'm going to take my 12 flat with some clean water, put that water over that area, and then I'm going to take some my 10 flat with some yellow and kind of just put that in front of the yellow building. The vivid violet, wipe off excess, put that in front of the vivid violet building, I'm tapping it in. You're not going to necessarily see the green, so let's go to the dry clay. Remember, the angle's got to go that way. Like this yellow isn't out far enough, so. And the white. So that's the reflection of the buildings on the water. Okay, so now tap that out a little bit. I want to dry that. Oh, there's white on the top of this building. Some kind of molding. Take some gray and put it around this corner here. And if that shows up too much, a little bit of black. We'll tone that down. Next, I want to put in some water effect. So after that's dry, pre-wet again. This time with the white on your smaller brush. Chop some white in. And I'm going parallel to this line here, not that one. And then I'm going to take my, I'll go with my 1 round and put in some pipes where the boats would be tied up. So let's do that with white first. If you need to put your lines back on, you can go right ahead. I'm just going to put some in. Some of them are going to be more burnt umber. And they're going to get smaller as they go further back. Then on this side, that one's going to go right between the green and white. And end at the sidewalk. This one's going on the white. And the rest of the brown. A little bit of white to that. And the white ones in the front, I'm going to take some black and draw some diagonal markings. I take a side load of the white and just kind of highlight the edge of that. So once that's dry, I outline the sides of the post with black, but I'm going to take my white liner and go down right of center through the black lines. To add a little bit of highlight, and I'm going to do the gray on the side, outline that, the gray. I'm going to take a few of the burnt umber and add that to the right side. The left side of these. And also add a few lines. And then crisscross a couple. If you had an inclination and you wanted to add more detail, there are a lot more detail that you could add to this. Bring up some of these. Add a little bit more black to your blue. And put some more ripples in the curtains. I'm going to take this black and I'm going to add a lamppost between the clay house and the white house. We can make it a little yellow. So there's a light there. There's a white pipe coming out of this one. Make it a little darker on this side. And put a cap on it. Let's see how we could just keep going. You can do antennas. You can add a boat in here if you wanted to. A white cap on here. A little darker near the buildings. Oh, I was going to say if you wanted to add some flower buckets, you could do that too and pop some flower buckets in there. I think on this window up here, there might be a flower bucket. And who knows, it could be this green color. And then we can tap in some tap in the greenery and then tap in the flower color. In this case, I'm going to use a vivid violet. There we go. That made it. So I hope you had fun with this project. If you do paint it, please post it on Facebook and tag me, or make a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, remember to always paint with heart.